Hello and welcome to this heart opening sequence with me. So today we're going to focus on Kramakrasana, which is Wild Thing, and it is so much fun. The biggest thing that you're going to find with Wild Thing is the amount of work that you need in the shoulders, the core and a back bend. So I've got a bolster, I've got some bricks with me. Again, they're really useful to have, especially at the end. You can use this to prop yourself up to have a really comfy, cozy shavasana. And then the bricks, again, just useful for any types of props or anything like that that we may need. So what we're going to do, we're going to start in shavasana. We're going to get really nice and cozy. So coming on down to lie on our backs, you may want to slide a bolster underneath the knees and then roll all the way down onto our backs. And having the knees propped up takes the pressure away from our lower back. So I invite you to place the hands onto the belly. So right hand onto belly, left hand onto the heart. Close down the eyes and just take a moment to arrive on the mat. So arriving on the mat is bringing us into the present moment where life truly exists. So letting go of things that you may have done, things that you need to do. So for the next couple of moments of just being you in this present moment. And the best way to anchor into the present moment is connect to the breath. So while we're here, notice the heart beating. Notice the rise and the fall of the belly. You may notice other sensations while you lie on the mat. So just take a moment to feel, to notice, and to check in. You may wish to deepen the breath, and you may start to take the breath in and out through the nose as best as you can. So if you're congested, breathe however is comfortable. So today allow the heart to open, the body to receive the loving energy that it can from all of the postures we do today. Honor your body, listen to what it can and cannot do. Each day we are different. So remember, take modifications, listen to all of the adaptations that I may make. Don't push your body to the limit. Yoga is for everybody, so this class will be for everybody. So while we lie here, simply connecting to our breath, I want you to set an intention. An intention can be a little seed that can start to manifest. So we're going to plant this seed. And I want you to say to yourself that I am enough, I am loved. Just saying it to yourself a few more times. And maybe sealing it with something that you choose to use. Something positive. Beautiful. And when you're ready, start to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, have a full body stretch and yawn. Rolling the bolster away from you and then hugging the knees in toward the chest. Having a little rock from side to side, massaging the lower back in toward the mat. Opening up the eyes, placing the hands onto the knees, circle the knees outwards. So just getting some nice hip circles, massaging the lower back. Again, noticing if there's any tightness here. Change the direction. Beautiful. Stretch Push the legs up towards the ceiling, give the hamstrings a lovely little rub. Roll out the ankles, roll out the wrists. So with Wild Thing, there's a demand on the hands, a demand on the shoulders, and definitely, of course, all the way through in a back bend. But like I said, yoga is for everyone, so do not let the posture put you off. There's always ways of adapting it for ourselves. Drawing the knees back in towards the chest, open the hands out to shoulder level, palms facing up. Place the feet back down on the mat. Just drop the knees over toward the left side, having a gentle twist here. Just noticing the upper body through in towards the lower back as well. Head can be either up towards the ceiling or in the opposite direction. Good, gently lifting up. Shifting the hips over towards the opposite side as the knees drop towards your right. And again, looking over towards your left side. Good. Gently coming back to neutral, planting the feet back down onto the mat. You may wish to have the hands onto the hip bones or even beside you, making sure that the knees are over the ankles and the feet are hip distance apart. We are only going to work pelvic tilts, so not massive lifting up, simply pressing into the feet, squeeze the glutes and roll up and tilt. Rolling back down and tilting in the opposite direction. So what I want you to bring awareness to is the pelvis. Because the pelvis is where you start to learn to tilt, and it can bring a different idea or a different intention to a posture. It can intensify or it can change a pose completely, just working these tilts. And also we'll start to work through spinal flexion and extension as well, eventually working through with cat-cow. So this is a great start to think about the pelvis before we move in towards the back. A few more here. Good. And then a gentle release all the way down. Beautiful. Hugging your knees in one more time. We'll start to have a little rock forwards and backwards. If a rock is not in your practice, you can always roll to your side and then bring yourself up towards a seat. Coming in towards our seat. Just going to move our bolster just out of the way, so we've got a nice little bit of space here. So coming to sit in Sukhasana, you could bring that bolster underneath your seat, or you could use your blocks. It doesn't have to be in line, it could be cross-legged or even in butterfly pose. So however works for you, hands onto knees, big Sufi rolls of the body, working into lower back, all the way in towards hips as well. Good, change the direction. Nice, coming back to neutral. As you come up, tilt the head over towards your left, up and over towards your right. Bringing chin to chest. And then coming up towards the ceiling. We'll do all of that again. Over to your left, over to your right. Chin to chest, up to ceiling. Now if a full head circle is in your practice, please go ahead and do that. If not, just do exactly what I told you before, looking side to side, dropping up and down, changing the direction of your circle. Good. So when it comes to a warm-up, you always want to be opening up the whole body so it's ready for the postures, coming back to neutral. So let's work into some lateral flexion, up and over, opening up side body, and again up and over to the opposite direction, and again, and again. Just breathing in and out, allowing the natural flow just to move. Beautiful. Come back to neutral, taking the hands behind your back, rolling the shoulders, puffing the chest, opening the heart here. Good. Lovely. And then gently releasing. Let's swing the legs around, making our way into 4-point kneeling into a tabletop. So stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and knees hip distance apart. Tuck your toes. I want you to move around the wrists, so big circles, in towards the feet. Again, big circles. The bigger, the better. So again, like I said, there's a demand on the hands, on the shoulders, in toward the upper body. So let's get that open. Again, change directions. Let's turn the direction of the hands and rock side to side. Again, waking up your wrists. Change them again. You can just do one or you can do both. Totally up to you. You can move forward and backwards, side to side. It doesn't matter. What the intention is waking up those wrists. So changing them back again. Fabulous. Okay. From here, release the toes. Let's come into some cat-cow. So working from the tailbone like we did in the warm-up. Lift the tailbone, sink the belly, open the heart, find the inhalation. Tailbone underneath, nail to spine, chin to chest, finding the exhalation. Good. Again, rippling forwards, inhaling. Contract and round, protraction through the shoulder blades, and exhale. Again, inhaling and exhaling. Now what I want you to not worry about is if you still got your feet tucked, that's fine. You can release them, you can keep them tucked. You can just be working with different prana or different energies if the feet are tucked. Again, it does not matter. A few more. Good, coming back to neutral. So let's come into classic thread the needle, raising the right arm up towards the ceiling, finding that reach. Find an inhale, exhale, thread and reach in the opposite direction. Again, lifting up on the inhale, and then the exhale to thread. Again, lifting up on the inhale, exhaling, threading. One more, inhale all the way up. Exhale, thread and reach, but surrender the arm, the cheek, the shoulder all the way down. Left arm can creep forwards or lift up and around and bind behind the right hip. Pulling the left hip back, rotating the chest up towards the ceiling. So working into shoulders, working into a little bit of rotation here as well. Good. Slowly unbind, making your way back to tabletop. Let's do the opposite side. So lifting up the left arm, finding your inhale, and the exhale to thread and to reach. Again, lifting up on the inhalation, and then the exhalation to thread. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, threading and releasing. One more, lifting all the way up. Exhaling, thread, release the arm, cheek, shoulder. Option to walk that arm forwards or lift it up towards the ceiling and then wrapping it around the back and again rotating the chest up, pulling back the hips so they become square. So really stretching out your shoulders here. Good. Slowly release, unbind. Coming back to your tabletop. Okay, from here, extend the right leg behind you, but keep the ball of the foot onto the floor. And then simply take it across towards the left side. And having just a little bit of a flare in the rib cage, reaching your right arm over. Now, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's more about the sensation through the side body. Good. Gently coming back. Let's do the opposite side. So left leg extends and steps over. Again, reaching that left arm. Again, it doesn't matter what it looks like. What I'm trying to do is bring the awareness to what you might feel when we come into that wild thing pose. Gently come back. Good. This time extend the right leg all the way up, floating the leg up. Taking the left arm forward, extend and lift up, find an inhale. Exhale to crunch and round all the way in. Inhaling to find length, exhaling to contract and round in. Again, lengthen and contract. One more, lengthen, don't sink in that supporting arm. Exhale, hold this crunch here. Lift up and out, find protraction through the shoulder blades. Now you're going to take the arm out to a cactus out to the side, and then the leg's going to lift as well. Bring it back in. Now you're probably thinking, why is she making me do this? It's because I want you to bring awareness to this supporting arm, and then the awareness in toward the core as well. Lifting up and bring it back in. One more. Lifting it up, bring it back in. Beautiful, gently release. Now you may notice how much pressure you put on that wrist. Again, think, how do you sink into it? Can you lift up and out just a little bit more on this next one? So left leg behind you, extending and lifting all the way up, reaching that right arm forward. Find an inhale. Exhale to contract and round. Now, if balance is starting to become a little bit of an issue, all you need to do is you could just do the leg. This is enough. If not, you can do both. Or do one and then do the other. Does not matter. Finding the inhale, finding your exhale. Hold the crunch here. Again, lift up and out of that supporting arm. Opening it out, bringing it in. Opening it out, bringing it in. This is really hard work. Really hard in the hips. Really hard on that upper body as well. One more. Good. Gently release. Right leg comes all the way behind you. Beautiful. And then the left toes are going to tip around, and then you're going to ground in towards your right heel, raising the right arm all the way up. Now you're going to be in a side plank, but modified, so half. So lifting all the way up through the body here, reaching the fingertips up. Now inhale here, exhale, reach to the opposite side of the room. Just like the thread the needle, but what I want you to do is think about the upper body and that rotation here. So maybe you can open up just a little bit more and then reach. So this is going to be some of the feeling that you're going to find in that wild thing. Do two more. Open it out and extend. One more, opening it out, bring it back in. Good, come back to that side plank. Lift the upper leg. Good, hold it here. Lift up just a little bit more. Good. See if you can open up the body just a little bit more. Even if that foot taps down, it's fine. Keep lifting. Good, gently release. Through and back, plank pose, so you have to step that foot back. Good, protraction through the shoulder blades, engagement through the core, lengthen through the crown of the head. Lower the knees back to tabletop. Well done. So you're going to take the left foot behind you, right toes are going to turn, grounding into the heel, planting into that right hand, lifting all the way up for that side plank on the opposite side. Now, make sure that the shoulder is over the wrist, it's not too far away, it's not too far underneath you, it's all stacked. Again, hip and knee, lengthening all the way up, find the inhale. Exhale to reach underneath you. Again, lengthening up. And exhale. Again, lifting up. And reach. Lifting up. And reach. One more. And now we're going to add that little bit more opening on this next one. So open up, feel the openness through the chest, and then release. Again, lift, open, and reach. I can almost pick the leaves off that tree, and reach. Good, bringing it back through in towards your plank pose. Protraction through the shoulder blades, engagement through the core. Let's shift forwards. Option to lower the knees or slowly lower yourself all the way down towards the mat through a chaturanga. Release the toes. Good. Inhale, pressing the feet, squeeze the glutes, lifting up for a cobra. Release all the way back down. Again, inhale, lift up, maybe look to the right. Exhale, release down. Keep active legs, active glutes, looking to the left, release down. Again, lifting up. Releasing down. Again, lengthening up. Releasing down. Good, tucking the toes through and tabletop. Hip bones up towards the thighs. You start to straighten up the legs, finding our down dog. Length through the spine, pedal out through the feet, shifting the weight forwards and backwards, side to side. Doesn't matter what happens. Again, finding a little bit more length through the body. Beautiful. Looking forwards, walk towards the top of your mat. And when you get there, let's find a halfway lift, finding length through the crown of the head, exhaling down for that deep forward fold. Again, lengthening up, finding that inhale. Exhale, release all the way down. Good softening in that ragdoll, letting the head hang, body release. Good. And then we'll have a gentle release and roll all the way up towards standing. Good, fabulous. So I'm going to move my bolster just out of the way, just behind me. I'm going to have my blocks nice and handy as well. So the bolster is going to become useful at the end as a nice relaxation place. So don't get rid of it just yet. Keep it handy. So coming towards the top of your mat, working into some variation of classical sun salutation. Now, why did I pick classical sun salutation? Because it opens the front chain of the body. You've got little back bends and then you've got lunges. So it's exactly what we're looking for. So finding Tadasana, big toes together, little space between the heels, or finding some comfortable pose for you. Pull up through the kneecaps, squeezing the glutes, drawing navel towards spine, rolling shoulders back down and round, and hands towards heart centers. Find your exhale. Inhale, raise the arms up towards the ceiling, lifting up, shifting the hips forward and up. And exhale, deep forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step back with the right foot, finding lunge. Good. Sinking the hips forward and down, lifting the chest, nice and proud. Good. Planting the hands, step back in towards downward facing dog. Beautiful. Shifting forward towards plank pose, lower the knees, arch the back, chest, chin to the floor. Scoop through and up towards your cobra. Exhaling up and back towards downward facing dog. Good, bringing the right leg through the gates of the arms. We may well come to a three-legged dog, then swooping the leg through. Big step with the back leg to join the front leg, deep forward fold. Good. Inhale, raising the arms, lifting the torso, finding that mini back bend. Exhale straight away, deep forward fold down towards the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step back with the left foot, finding that lunge pose. Again, chest nice and proud. Good, step back to downward facing dog. Shifting yourself forward to plank pose. Lowering the knees, chest, chin through Ashtanga Pranayama. Scoop through and up towards Cobra. Good, up and back towards downward facing dog. Lovely. Left leg through the gates of the arms. Good, sinking those hips down. Big step with the back foot to join the front foot, deep forward fold. Inhaling, lifting all the way up and back for that little back bend, coming back to heart centers. Good, inhale, lift up, mini back bend, squeeze the glutes, exhale, deep forward fold. Step back with your right foot. Keeping the right hand where it is, raise the left arm, take a twist. Good, open up just that little bit more. Good. Open up, imagine you're going to really have a big twist here. Bring the hands back. Drop the back knee. Raising the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Bringing the palms together, maybe finding Kali Mudra here, finding the strength. Lift up, shifting the hips forward and back, opening up through the heart. Squeeze the glutes as much as you can. Good. Planting the hands back down to the mat. Back leg, release the toes. Turn the toes in. Creeping the body around, grounding through the heel, raising up. Shifting forward and over towards the elongated leg. Beautiful. Bringing it back. Raising the leg. Squeezing in. Take a hold of the ankle. Open up through the heart. Finding a little tiger pose here. Good, gently release, lifting it up and back through that gate pose, up and back through plank pose, stepping it back, shift forward, knees, chest, chin, scoop through and up, cobra, up and back in toward your downward facing dog. Breathe. Raising your left leg up towards the ceiling, bringing it through the gates of the arms. Good, big step with the right foot to join the left, deep forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, releasing. Squeezing the glutes, lifting all the way up, finding that mini back bend. One more time. Exhale, deep forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step back with the left foot. Keeping the left hand where it is, raising the right arm up. Open up just that little bit more. Keep reaching behind you. Nice. Coming back down, planting the hand to frame the foot. Drop the back knee. You can keep the toes tucked. Lifting all the way up into that low lunge. Interlace the fingers, finding Kali Mudra here. Lift out of the hips, squeeze the glutes, open the heart as you shift forward and back, opening up through the back bend. Good, gently releasing here. Now remember, with those back toes, turning it in so it's 90 degrees, walking the hands around, stretching that front leg, grounding through the heel, and then lifting up towards your gate pose. Reach the opposite side, up and over for a stretch. Nice. Gently bringing it back. Side plank, lifting up, maybe have a little rotation. Bring it back. Lift up, bend the knee, finding that nice little tiger pose, opening up through the body. Doesn't have to be anything massive. Gently release, bring it down, lifting up back for that side stretch. Nice. Floating it back around, finding plank pose. Shifting it forward, knees, chest, chin. Scoop through and up to cobra. Back and up towards your downward facing dog. Nice. Raising the right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. You're going to need this. This is good practice. Looking underneath your right armpit. Good, gently come back. Bring the legs square, planting the foot back down. Left leg, lifting it up. Bending the knee, open the hips. Look underneath that left armpit. Toe could be pointed, can be flexed, it doesn't matter. Good, gently coming back, planting it back down onto the floor. Good, ribs shift forward all the way through to plank, protraction through the shoulder blades. This time we're going to go through a slow chaturanga, so shift forward, bending the arms, hugging the arms into the body. Low, slow, 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 slow. Releasing the toes, flipping up in towards upward facing dog. So straighten the arms, pull the hips up and back, through and open up through the heart. So you can roll over the toes, up and back, in towards downward facing dog. Good, holding it here, breathe. Just start to feel the heart opening, starting to feel some strength in the upper body. Good. Lowering all the way back through to plank, shifting forward, that real slow chaturanga. Slow, 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 but release all the way down towards the floor. Okay, so we're going to come into Bhujangasana, into our locust pose, but with some difference, okay? So interlace the fingers behind the back, roll the shoulder heads, lifting nose, chin, chest, but keep the feet pressing into the floor. Use the arms to lift the upper body, chin, chest. I don't go that far, but I want you to breathe and squeeze and keep lifting. And then gently release. Good, you can release the hands down. You can even place them next to your palms facing down and activate through the arms. Pressing into the arms, pressing into even to the forehead, pressing into the pubic bone. Squeeze and lift the legs. Float and float and float. Float and float and float. Keep squeezing, don't let them splay. Bring them in just a little closer. Gently release. Let's bring it all together. Interlacing the fingers, roll the shoulder head, starting to lift the nose, chin, chest. floating the body all the way up. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Keep holding, gently releasing. Beautiful. Just take a moment in crocodile so you can bring the forehead onto the forearms. Taking a moment here. Well done. So I don't want you to windscreen wipe the legs yet. It's simply just staying in a neutral position, preparing ourselves for more to come. Okay, so the next part's really fun. It's also the idea of how you can modify in towards your wild thing, but things I want you to think about now. Okay, so bring your hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to bend your right leg. You're going to roll onto your left hip, placing that foot down onto the floor, and you're coming up towards the seat, nice and easy. Look at your arm behind you and look at where your legs and feet are. This foot is going to be a very important part of your wild thing, and so is this one. So just noticing what's going on here. As you press into this foot, start to flatten that foot down. Press up, no back bend yet, just come down. Noticing what's going on in this arm, noticing the lift that's required in the hips, coming down. One more, maybe raising the arms and lifting up and bringing it down. Good. Back to your belly. All the way down. Opposite side. So coming on to that left hip, planting that foot down. Now really important, remember, it's about that foot, about this leg, about the glutes lifting all the way up. So just open. It doesn't have to be a big back bend. What I'm trying to do is bring the same awareness of what we're going to need to do. Press and lift, lower down, noticing the shoulder, noticing the fingers, noticing the ask on the back, the ask on the legs. A few more, lift up, bring it down. I'm not doing the full expression, I'm doing the waking and thinking about my lower body. Then my arms come back. Nice. So, ways to modify that, you could just stay here, lift the chest, come down. Again, you could do it on the opposite side. Lift, bring it down. You don't have to lift the hips. Let's try it again. Right foot rolls, maybe you just lift the chest, maybe you lift the body, bring it down. Again, notice that shoulder. Rolling opposite side, up and over. Lift. That foot comes down. Again, lift and come down. Rolling back down. Beautiful. Lift through and up towards your tabletop and just come onto your knees for a moment. And just become aware of how your shoulders felt then. So you could notice the deep opening, maybe the ask on the wrists as well. Again, let's have a look how we can open up more to get more from our wild thing. So what I want you to do is release, come sitting onto your bottom. Let's work some core here, work some back bending, then come into a little bit more of a flow and then come back into our posture. So, squeezing everything up, hands out, options to stay here, options to be here, options to be here, sitting back, lifting up through the chest, coming into your variation of boat. Options to stay here, here, even here, or here. Hold. Squeeze the inner thighs, and at times, sometimes I really like to bring a block into play here, because for me, boat always pulls on my hip flexors and not necessarily getting into the core. So holding on here, lifting up. Good, gently release. Move the block aside, shift your bottom towards your heels and roll all the way down. Knees over ankles, feet hip distance apart, palms next to you, everything staying down. Squeeze the glutes, rolling up through the body, rolling all the way back down. We're not working bridge. I'm getting you in towards waking up the parts of the body that we're needing. Release. Again, lift, squeeze, and open. Release all the way down. Now this type of class that we're doing today wouldn't be your normal sort of standard class when once you're up, when you're down, you're down. Today I'm bringing you awareness to the heart opening, the muscles that are required for this posture. This time squeeze all the way up, bringing shoulder blades underneath you, interlacing the fingers, press all the way up. Hold. So it's been more of an idea of little drills, ideas behind the posture. Good, gently release, roll all the way down, stay in neutral for a moment. Good, bring the soles of the feet together, the palms to the top of the leg, press and decompress through the spine. Lovely. Now the body is really warm and it's sequenced in a very different style. Let's come into a little bit of a flow. Draw the knees in, let's rock and roll forwards and backwards or roll to a side, bringing yourself up to a seat. Flipping around up and towards downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's start to raise the left leg up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. Swoop the leg through the gates of the arms, ground the back heel. Lifting up towards your warrior two. Again, ensure the safety over the ankle, back leg lifted. Shift forward, forearm to thigh or down towards the floor. Swoop the back arm forward, down and round. Open up through the body, side angle. Lifting up and back, reversing your warrior. Good. Don't lean on that back leg. Lift up and out. Coming through, back and into three-legged dog. So pivot on that back leg. The front leg is going to lift all the way up for your three-legged dog. Good. Holding it here. Square the hip. Maybe lower the heel. Open up the heart just a little bit more here. Good. Bending that knee. Now squaring the hip, draw that left leg to the outside of the right fingers, coming on toward the blade of the foot. The back foot's going to ground. You're going to lift up for a falling triangle here. Lift up. Good. Release all the way down. Back for three-legged dog. Shifting it forward for three-legged plank. Lowering it down, three-legged chaturanga. Release all the way up for upward facing dog. Back and up for downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Good, raising that right leg up towards the ceiling. Bring it through the gates of the arms. Ground the back heel. Cartwheel the arms coming in towards your warrior two. So think about knee over ankle. Pull up through that back quad. Lifting up through the body. Shift forward, forearm to thigh or down to the floor. Circling round and up into your side angle. Lifting through warrior two, reversing your warrior. Good. Don't sink. Back and up. Through to your lunge. Front leg up towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip, stack everything up. Scorpion tail. Whatever you feels good here. Good, squaring the hips. Bringing that right leg to the top of the mat, grounding through blade of the foot. Back onto that back leg, fallen triangle. Good, reverse. Back to three-legged dog. Shift forward to three-legged plank. Three-legged chaturanga. Up towards your upward facing dog. Back towards your downward facing dog. Good. Raising that right leg up towards the ceiling. Opening up through that heart just a little bit more. Little bit more. Little bit more. Maybe keep going until that foot drops to the floor. Open up through the heart, finding your back bend and looking behind you. Hand can always be your heart here as well, or up and back. Wild thing. Now that foot can be flat. It can be on the ball of the foot, whatever works for you. Good, see if you can reverse it, or you can sit down and come all the way back and up towards your downward facing dog. Again, what works for you. So into your downward dog, raising left leg up, bend the knee, open up the hips here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Watch those shoulders. Remember, a way of coming around it is lying down, rocking over, lifting up into that same variation, up and over. Hand can always be on the heart or reach over. Good, see if you can reverse. It's a big lot of ask. So lift back up into your three-legged dog. Nice. Back and here. Let's try it one more time. Now, options here. Raising that right leg up, bending the knee, finding that scorpion tail. Or, remember, you can be down on your belly, bend the knee, and then flip into your flip dog here. Or your wild thing, which it can be called as well, standing from here. Now, those of you that are feeling really flexible can bend the knee, rotating the body, and come into your wheel. You don't have to, but you can do. If not, reverse, flip, back and up into three-legged dog. Shift forward, three-legged plank, three-legged chaturanga, upward facing dog, back and up, downward facing dog. Great challenge. Let's do all of that on the opposite side. Left leg. Remember, you can come to your belly, you can open it up. You don't even have to lift into that back bend. Options to stay here, options to plant. You've got to lift up and out. You've got to rotate in the upper body. You've got to lift the hips. Breathe. Twisting the hand again, floating and lifting. Good, release, down facing dog. Nice, everybody lower the knees. Come back into child's pose. So just breathing here in your child's pose, noticing all the work that you have done, connecting to the breath like we said, and just feeling pride for yourself for what you have done and what you have achieved. So as you slowly roll all the way up, interlace the fingers behind the back, roll the shoulders, open the heart. Oh, and then you can come forward if you want to, or you can release. Wonderful. So slowly coming back into that 4-point kneeling, drawing the right shin to the top of the mat, squeezing back and finding our pigeon pose here, lifting up. Coming down. I want to stretch out my shoulder at the same time. So a great way of doing that is threading the left arm underneath, and you could just rest here. You can reach the right arm forward as well. Now this is not accessible. Remember, you could come onto a deer pose. You could just stay in that child's pose and do a thread the needle as well. Lovely. Gently come up. Swing that back leg around, bringing the hip into the socket, raising up, reaching forward, finding Janu Shavasana, lifting up through. Release all the way down. Wonderful, roll up. Good. Now you got to make your way into pigeon on the upper side so you can swing that leg round. Now I spoke about deer before, this is deer. If you want to, you can really lift up and in towards your pigeon pose here. And again, threading that arm and reaching forward. Gently coming up. And then bringing that leg, and kicking the blocks and bringing yourself around. Now, really useful, remember, with those blocks, you can always sit on a block, you can pad up your knee, you could always raise up with everything, reaching forward, lifting up and coming into Janu here. This is a nice way. Nice little reminder about the blocks. And then you can release all the way down. Really good. And then gently coming up. So we're going to use those blocks again, just bringing them here in a cross T shape. Like I said, we're going to use that bolster one more time if you want to, bringing it here, bringing the hips into it, and then releasing all the way down. This is a wonderful place to be. You can always be in a butterfly here. Take the arms over, or just let the arms open here. So this is a nice stretch across. If you haven't got your bolster, you can be lying flat on your back and taking your arms overhead, releasing in those shoulders one more time. We're going to breathe, we're going to release, and we're going to enjoy this beautiful opening through the heart, through the hips, embracing the love that you have for yourself, and then you can give it to others. If you're in butterfly with the arms overhead, I invite you to change it to the other arm. Nice. Gently bringing everything together, releasing. Now moving that bolster aside, but keep it handy. And again, the blocks can move aside here. Rolling down through the body, drawing the knees in towards the chest as come into a happy baby. Rocking from side to side, releasing in here. Wonderful. Releasing, drawing the knees in, open up through the heart, coming into a twist. Up and over to the opposite side for a twist. Bringing it on back. Now those of you that need more, please do more. If you want to, let's bring the bolster underneath our knees. Hand to heart. Hand to belly. Connect to the breath. Connect to your love for yoga. Your love for the movement. And love for yourself. That you are enough. Everything you do is good enough. Remember that. You are more than welcome to switch me off and just stay here for as long as you want. You're more than welcome to bring some life to fingers, to toes, roll the bolster away and come to a side. You could always come up to a seat if you wanted to as well. Again, I encourage you to stay in these positions and breathe and connect and to just be in that present moment. Or if you've got things to do and things to be or ways to be, hands to heart centers, closing the eyes and thanking the bodies. And I thank you so much for letting me guide you through today.